Thank you. You may be seated. All right. We are in the record. The People's State of Michigan versus Robert Thomas Sanders, file 210976FD. Counsel, please identify yourselves for the record.
Joseph Amon, on behalf of the people, Your Honor.
Daniel Duke appearing on behalf of Robert Sanders for the arraignment.
All right. You've had an opportunity to talk with your client already?
I have, Your Honor. Yes.
May I address your client regarding this?
Yes.
Good morning, Mr. Sanders.
Morning.
Mr. Duke has had an opportunity to kind of explain to you what the process is we're going to go through this morning.
Yeah.
Okay. I just need to pull it up.
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you able to go through this? You seem a little bit upset.
He never meant to hurt anybody.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
we're just gonna read to you the charge or charges, and then all I'm gonna ask is if you understand it. You're charged with one count of operating while intoxicated, causing death. The reason you're charged with that is that it's alleged that on or about January 20th of this year, you were operating a vehicle on East Ashman Street under the influence of a combination of alcoholic liquor and controlled substances. And by the operation of that vehicle, you caused the death of Nicole Cuddy. If you're convicted, if you are convicted of that crime, typically it's punishable by up to 15 years in prison and or $2,500 to $10,000 in fines plus court costs. You could be ordered to do rehabilitative programs. You may have to pay the cost of prosecution. Might have to reimburse the government for emergency response and expenses for prosecuting you. You'd have to forfeit your vehicle. If not forfeited, the vehicle would have to be mobilized. And because you're charged as habitual offender fourth, the prosecutor's charging you with habitual offender fourth because of prior felony convictions. Once on or about January 7th, 2004, they're alleging you were convicted of fleeing a police officer in Bay County on November 8th, 2004, convicted of controlled substance possession of analogs in Bay County, of November 8th, 2004, of attempted weapons carrying concealed in Bay County. I'm
aware, sir.
And unfortunately, I have to read it, though. April 15th, 2005, of larceny in a building in Midland County. December 21st, 2005, weapons concealed, Gratiot County. July 12th, 2007, controlled substance possession analogs in Midland County, making this habitual offender. Well, there are a lot more. There's more, at least 4. So what this would do is this would change this from a maximum penalty of up to 15 years in prison to up to life in prison. Do you understand the charge that I've read and the fact that you are at least a habitual offender fourth?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Duke, how do you advise your client to plead to this charge?
Not guilty, Your Honor.
Not guilty plea will be entered in the records of the court. We have a probable cause conference set for August 24th at 1 o'clock, preliminary examination on August 31st at 2 o'clock. Is there anything we need to address regarding that, Mr. Duke?
If I could you, I don't feel comfortable with anybody but Leland Burton being my attorney.
Well, I don't.
Be completely honest with you.
I understand that, but I don't control the contract. So Mr. Duke is only here today just for arraignment purposes. I can put down that you would request an attorney and you request Mr. Burton, but I don't get to control yet. Okay. So
yes, sir.
At this point in time, it looks like you're in prison already for probably an unrelated matter.
Yep.
Okay. So bond really doesn't make much sense for me to set any type of bond except for one, probably a cash bond, so that you would presumably get credit towards this case. You would agree, Mr. Duke?
Your Honor, since Mr. Sanders was on parole at the time, this would be consecutive to any prior sentence, but we agree that a cash bond would be appropriate. And just
what exactly does consecutive mean? Because I'm under the impression from talking to parole institution here that if I catch a new case and you guys give me more than a year, my old parole gets wiped out and I start my new case.
Well, that may or may not be true. What Mr. Duke's just saying is that we should set a cash bond, and I think that makes sense because you're not getting out either way.
Right.
Mr. Any input regarding the bond?
Your Honor, I just, based on his prior record and charges, I'd ask that you set an appropriate bond. Thank you.
We're going to set bond in this matter of $250,000 cash or surety. Standard bond terms would apply, although it's not makes much sense because he's already in prison at this point in time. We'll be adjourned until August 24th at 1 o'clock. I will appoint an attorney for Mr. Sanders. Mr. Sanders, you were requesting a court-appointed attorney. You weren't planning on hiring Mr. Burton.
No, yes, sir.
Okay. I don't mean to presume.
Liam Burton is familiar with me, and
okay. I'm certain all that will be taken into consideration, and I'll put it on the form that that's who you prefer, but I can't promise that. All right?
yes, sir.
Okay. We'll be adjourned on this case at this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.